If there were ever a difficult video to make, it would be this one. Choosing the most badass characters in anime is a crazy thing to do because anime has so many great characters to choose from, and every anime watcher watches different types of anime and also experiences it differently. So a video like this will never be correct. But today, View with Ice will attempt to choose some of the most badass characters you will ever find in anime. Also, since I haven't watched every single anime to ever exist, I apologize if I don't include characters that I don't know. I can only speak from my experiences, and I will also only choose one character from an anime, but please like and subscribe and let's just see what happens. Opening up this video, I am going to talk about Claire from Claymore. If you have ever watched Claymore, you would have most likely chosen Teresa to be part of this video, and I was actually on the verge of giving Teresa the slot, but then I went with the MC instead. Claire is considered to be the weakest Claymore, but that is why I think she is perfect for this list. She is not as overly powerful as her peers, but she still goes out there and takes on monsters with no fear and manages to get the job done. Sometimes the underdogs needs some love too.
Wise guy, you'll never take me alive. Get him! He jumped!
Coming in at number 19 is Seto Kaiba. I haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh in a very long time, but I just thought that the Blue Eyes White Dragon enthusiast should make a showing. Kaiba is arguably one of the best trash talkers in anime. Everything about him would be highly irritating and off-putting in a real-world setting, but he just adds a lot of flavor to the show. If I could make a somewhat comparison to Kaiba, I would actually say that he is like the Tony Stark of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Your deck is just as weak and feeble as your
Death Note is a great anime from start to finish, but I feel the show was at its best with L in the mix. Compared to the majority of characters on this list, L was not some overpowered being or anything like that. He was just an intellectual with high levels of deductive reasoning. I understand that this is a somewhat weird entry to this video, but L just always gave off a badass vibe to me. He essentially had the deck stacked against him and eventually died, but he was still overly impressive against Light, who had everything going for him.
Whatever the reason. An eye for an eye, my friend.
Coming in at number 17 is Revi. Revi is a character in one of my favorite animes. She is the co-protagonist of Black Lagoon, and as great as Black Lagoon is, if Revi wasn't there, it would just be another bland anime to me. C is not one of those female characters with the squeaky voices and sigh characteristics. C is a brass in your face, cigarette smoking, foul mouthed, gun waving woman. And when I think about someone being a badass, C is one of the first characters to pop in my mind in such a male dominated category.
Done with you now. You've given us what we wanted.
Dutch, this is a pain in the ass. I say we need
Rising Sun.
While I am not that well versed into Hunter x Hunter, there was a character that got my attention one time, and ever since that first watch a few years ago, he has been stuck in my mind, and that is Phaeton. The Phantom Troop of course didn't get a lot of screen time in the anime, but for the little time they got, they were awesome. Someone would have most likely picked Killua in this situation, something that I almost did because Killua is amazing, that goes without saying, but Phaeton swayed my opinion after I saw him in action against the Queen.
熱もやや弱めだったし残念だったね。もう少し私にダメージ与えてればもっと楽にし
こら挑戦者の左ガードごとのけぞらせた
Next up, we have a character from one of my favorite anime of all time, and also an anime I still haven't finished completely. I should be ashamed of myself for not taking the time to finish the anime, but I will not be ashamed about including Mamoru Takamura in this video. Takamura is a big goofball for most part of the show, but when he steps into the ring, he turns into a different person. My guy even fought a bear barehanded. That might not seem impressive to people who only love to see planet busters on screen, but in the context of a boxing anime, you can understand why I picked him to be my number 15. You will most likely think that I am losing my mind, but Miriko overly impressed me to the point that I had no choice but to give her the spotlight in this video today. She actually reminds me a lot of a certain female character in Black Clover with orange hair and fire powers. Her fight against multiple Nomus is what won me over. She was facing a group of these monsters all on her own and was actually doing a lot of damage. There was even a moment during that battle where she got her arm broken, but that didn't even slow her down a little bit. In the end, that mission turned out to be a failure, but the level of heart and willpower she displayed during that ordeal immediately turned her into my favorite female character in My Hero, so Miriko is my 14th pick in this controversial top 20. Season 2 of One Punch Man rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way. However, it didn't bother me one bit, and the reason why is because of this character right here. Yes, there was a scene where Saitama destroyed him in a matter of seconds, but I still place him higher than Saitama for being a badass. Garu wasn't as explosive or over the top as our MC, and I loved that about him. He was just out there with martial arts looking for a fight everywhere he went, and when he was ganged upon by the heroes, he completely won me over as a character. And after that brutal encounter, he had a massive confrontation with his former master and his master's brother. They beat the hell out of him, but he never gave up in any way, shape or form. So yes, Saitama may destroy people in one punch, but in a badass competition, Garu prevails, and that is why he cracked the top 15 to be my 13th pick. Firstly, I of course thought about giving Rengoku the spot here today, but then I thought about it again. Rengoku is for sure more powerful because he alone fought Akaza, who is a stronger demon than Gyutaro, and he put on a great fight. However, I had to go with Tengen for this particular video. Before we even talk about anything else, bro has 3 wives. That's already a monstrous flex. He also just carries himself differently, and to top it all off, he is a shinobi, man. Like, come on guys, ninjas are just dope. I would love to hear anyone else's thoughts on this Demon Slayer conversation, but Tengen is my guy for this video, and he's also number 12. My 11th pick is gonna be King Bradley from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. The majority of people will look at this anime and Roy Mustang would be their first choice, and I don't even think that they would be wrong for thinking that, but King Bradley has always been the dopest to me. The reason why I think he is so awesome is because unlike the other homunculi, he doesn't have flashy powers, but he's still highly impressive and dangerous at the same time. Bradley just has this way about him and is also ridiculously skilled with his sword. Near the end of the series, there was a scene where he basically took on an entire army by himself with sword in hand, and that was just pure epicness.
アホ手出すな。
私も本気を出してあげますが、まずまともには死ねませんよ。
まったく。
I have fallen out of love with 7 Deadly Sins. I really don't even think about the anime anymore, but when I had the idea for this video, Escanora was one of the first names to pop up. Now that I look back at how cool he was, I think I will have to give 7 Deadly Sins another go. Although I don't have a lot to say here, I feel good that Escanora is my number 10.
No!
アナゾーンカリディス・ブラキウム連撃。
Concerning Black Clover, most people's eyeballs would have quickly sifted to Yami. However, I chose Mereoleona instead. It was a coin flip between the two of them for me, but number 9 is gonna be Mereoleona. Captain Fuegoleon is also awesome. I might even say he's amazing, but for me, he pales in comparison to his sister. Mereoleona just has something different about her. She is the type of person who would laugh in the face of death and then go fight death itself. So she has my highest of respects.
でもね女だったな。立ち往生どんだけ倒れたくねえんだ。頭守って。
Coming in at number 8 is none other than Gojo. When people think about Jujutsu Kaisen, the main character Itadori isn't even the first character that will come to their minds. You can argue all you want, but Gojo Satoru will be the first to pop up in a conversation about this anime. And rightfully so, because he steals almost any scene that he is in. Would it be a funny scene or a scene where he just flexes other characters to their deaths? He is so great that sometimes I even forget that Itadori is the MC.
挙式紫ケニーバキュー
Number 7 is my guy, Captain Levi. There is no way I would not include him in this. The man is a certified Titan killer. He stands out in an anime that doesn't have a shortage of cool characters. He takes over any scene he is in. People are more hyped to see him than any other character in Attack on Titan. That scene where he took on the Beast Titan and absolutely destroyed him is enough reason for Levi to make this list. I have yet to finish AOT, and that is purely because they kept releasing part after part after part. I have been watching it since high school, but I'll have to finish it this year. But even though I haven't completely finished this series, I am sure that there will not be another character to sway me to remove Levi from this list. Guts is the type of character you can't ever exclude from something like this. I feel it should be a crime not to give Guts the spotlight. I am not the biggest Berserk fan. I've watched it quite patchy, to be honest. I watched the original Berserk, never finished it, and a few years ago I actually finished the CGI version, and I hate CGI type anime. So I am not a die-hard fan, but Guts is solely a character who will leave a lasting impression on anyone who watches this anime. The amount of struggles he faced, the way he grew up, the betrayal of a friend, and being somewhat of a lone wolf, constantly fighting demons, almost never resting, is why I picked Guts for number 6. And just to pay more respects to this iconic character, I will try to finish the OG Berserk before the end of this month. Lunatic is most likely one of the words that people will use to describe me after they see how high I've rated this character, but I truly feel that Yakimaru deserves to be this high. You have to understand that he was born without arms, without skin, without legs, without eyes, without ears. He didn't have a spine. My guy, he basically didn't have a large portion of the things that people need to survive. He was saved and taken in by someone who makes prosthetic body parts, and with those prosthetics he had to fight various demons. With each demon he defeats, he gets a part of his body back. Yakimaru had an uphill battle since his birth, but in his case the hill was Mount Everest, or to be more accurate to Japan, Mount Fuji. A character's struggles doesn't automatically make him a badass, but in this case Yakimaru is, and he is my number 5. The OG of course had to make the list. Look, you guys can say all you want about Goku. Yes, Goku is a beast. Yes, Goku is almost always stronger than Vegeta. But when we throw them into a category like this, I am leaning more towards the Prince of all Saiyans. Vegeta is very arrogant, brass and tough. He just embodies what it means to be a badass. Piccolo could have also made it on this list today, but I am siding with the man who constantly refuses to call Goku by his name. Bleach has no shortage of dope characters, but I feel I have no choice but to give this one to none other than Kenpachi Zaraki. Every single time he makes an appearance, everyone gets hype. Kenpachi just has that aura about him. Just the way he speaks, the way he is drawn, the way he fights. I know my list will piss off basically anyone who watches this video, but any type of badass anime character video needs Kenpachi to be a part of it. The man is just him. One Piece is my favorite anime of all time, and it also includes so many amazing characters, but out of all of them, I pick Zoro. Yes, I understand that Shanks is there, Whitebeard, we have Kaido, Law, Dragon, Sanji, Luffy, Captain Kidd. If I list all of the dope characters, we will be here all day. Kozuki Oden is even there, and Oden is basically Luffy, Zoro and Sanji rolled up into one amazing character, but Zoro is my pick for One Piece. Presence, accents and aura are the reasons why characters make it into this video, and why Zoro is ranked so high is because he has all of these attributes in spades. He has the presence of a main character, the accents of a main character, and the aura of a final boss. There have been a few times where Zoro has been mistaken for the captain of the Straw Hats just because of the way he carries himself, and he carried himself all the way to the second spot on this list.
勝者カトン豪華滅却
What can I even say about this one here? Naruto Shippuden episode 322 put everything in perspective. This video of course isn't simply about OP characters or anything like that, but sometimes you have to talk about the impact of a character, and Madara made one hell of an impact. He gets resurrected. The first thing he does is go fight an entire army of shinobi all by himself, proceeds to body said army, drops 2 meteors on army, goes and fight against the Hokage, which are said to be the most powerful members of their respective villages, proceeds to also body them, and what makes everything worse is that this was simply just the beginning of his rampage. So Madara is the one for Naruto, and also my overall number 1 pick for the most badass character in anime. He is the true definition of believe the hype. He is not my favorite character. I would choose Guy Sensei over him any and every single day of the week, but concerning this subject, he is the truth. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to View with Ice. It won't be the most otherworldly experience here on YouTube, but I assure you, you will at least get some solid anime recommendations, and they also should give the US title to L.A. Knight. I'm out.
さて、一つ質問をする。そいつら分身がスサノオを使う、使わない。どちらが